Hey friends, today on Gardening with Creekside, we are going to be planting 4 beautiful peonies. Yes, that is correct. It is the, beginning-ish of February here in North Carolina, growing zone 7B. And I am already anticipating a beautiful spring, and I want to add some more peonies to my garden. I'm standing here in the backyard. I believe it is 9 different peonies that I planted in this large backyard bed last spring. By the time I got them in the ground, it was late in the season, and those were some bare root peonies that I had gotten ordered online from my Van Engelen, and so they did not flower, right? This time though, I am adding to the collection on the kind of directly across from that flower bed up against the house near my naked tea olive tree. That kind of gives you an idea of where we are. Remember, this poor tea olive is suffering from the Arctic blast, is defoliating a lot but has new growth. Where we are going to plant these 4 peonies is right here at around the base of it. This does get lots of sun. It is not on irrigation, but it is a nice damp area, moist I would say, not damp. We have a drain that comes out behind the tea olive from our dehumidifier from underneath the house, and so this gets lots of good kind of consistent moisture, and I have a hose right there, so if I need to shoot them with some water, I can do that. So we're going to have some fun planting these 4 in here. I do have some Nicotina plants that I am going to pull out. You can't even see them, they're just sticks right now, because last year they clearly love this spot, and technically they are supposed to be an annual here, but this is such a warm and toasty spot that they keep coming back. Last year though, they were huge, and in fact, because they fell over, and I believe they killed some of my Daisy May Shasta daisies because they just were smothering it, couldn't get any light, and I didn't realize what was happening until it was too late. And then my grasses were interfered, so the Nicotina is coming out and the peonies are going in. So excited. Let me share with you the 4 different varieties that we're going to be putting in. Here I have my faithful Johnny with me with all of my supplies. We're going to do 1 Ito peony. This is Ito Julia Rose, and Itos are really fun. They were developed by a Japanese plant breeder. His last name was Ito, and it is a cross between an herbaceous peony and a tree peony. So you can see that it has really already that kind of upright, really strong habit to it, waking up quite nicely. Beautiful, like apricot colors, turns to some yellow, so it will really change, about 3 feet tall. We are also going to use the peony, and I may butcher this name, the Duchess d'Amour is a classic one as well. Beautiful pure white flowers on that. Then we also have the peony. This is the Festiva Maxima, and Festiva Maxima is again a very classic, beautiful double white peony, and is really good for us southern growers. Massive, huge double blooms with a little splash of raspberry coloring in there, so we're using that one. And then the last one that we are using is the Carl Rosenfield, which is a beautiful big huge double red. So I've got 2 whites, and then I've got 2 in that pinky apricot red color. Cannot wait. I am so ready for spring. It's really interesting. So you know how I always tell you that I'm like, I help the nursery out. Plants that don't sell, I just take it upon myself because they're feeling neglected and they want to have a good home. So we actually had these peonies for sale. We had tons of peonies in the spring last year. Had some that just didn't sell because the time ran out, whatever, and people kind of moved on from peonies. So I am going to, sacrifice some good garden space here that I have and give these 4 little orphans a home. So just know that I am doing my part to help, make sure that plants get a nice home, and I will put it in my garden, and I'll just sacrifice with all the gorgeous blooms and all the fragrance and all the beautiful flowers that I can cut and bring in my house. So clearly I'm joking. First things first, we got to dig up the Nicotina plants. Hopefully they'll just pop right out of the ground. We will see. Get those out, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to plant these peonies. All right, my friends, so the Nicotina plants came out super easy, so I was very grateful for that. I've had these, my first round were the bigger ones on the end, and they had been here for 2 years, and then I had planted some smaller ones last year at the end of the season, so those really just popped out. So Nicotina plants are gone. Goodbye. Now we're saying hello to the peonies. Now I went ahead, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to place these. They ended up obviously in kind of a little bit of a curve in front of this tea olive tree. Tea olive, sweet osmanthus, it is all the same plant. It is simply kind of what region you live in as to what they call it. Fantastic, should be an evergreen tree, shrub that does a beautiful fragrance in the fall, winter, and early spring. So just imagine it being full of leaves. It was before the Arctic blast right there at Christmas, and nice, really glossy green leaves, kind of like a holly, but without any, it was not prickly. The peonies coming around in an arc, and basically, so Julia is on the far end because it'll be I think it's gonna be the tallest. Beautiful reddish apricot kind of colors. Then we have, I think the Duchess is the white is next. Then we have Carl, which is a red. And then we have Felix in the back off to the side, which is that double white. And because I think the Felix and Julia will be the tallest ones. I still have room down here in the front in between if I wanted to come back and add, like later on this spring, or even, you know, whenever, right? I could add in some low growing perennials around here, or annuals, but I was thinking perennials. This bed tends to be a perennial bed for me, and it would be beautiful against that, you know, foliage of the peonies. So what I am going to do is I have my handy dandy power planter auger. So I'm going to grab my auger, and we're going to do the holes. When you're planting your peonies, of course, you need them in as much sun as you possibly can. They enjoy a nice dose of starter fertilizer. So of course I will be using my Biotone starter fertilizer and just a little bit of compost in the hole mixed in with the original soil. You're going to do that, and then I'm going to come back and top dress with the land and seed compost on that as well. So I'm going to scoop back the mulch, get them planted. Since they are in containers and their little eyes are already popping up, like I can see that new growth, I want that, because I have clay soil, I want that soil that's in the container to be just slightly above grade. I do not want to sink it because I do not want water to go in and pool and sit around the crown of the peony. It will rot it. So I will plant them just a little bit high. I will show you how I do that. Again, top dress with some land and seed around it, and then pull the mulch back, and that is it. So a really simple, easy job to do today. I am not watering because, my heavens, if you are in the South, you know that we are have had tons and tons and tons of rain, and this is the first sunny day we've had. So the ground is adequately moist. I do not have to worry about adding moisture to this flower bed whatsoever at this time. If I was planting these in more of the heat of the summer, obviously you water them. I'm not going to do that. So without further yapping, we are going to get these holes dug and get these plants in the ground. Okay, my friends, so we got the 4 peonies planted. They are all nice and snug in their new home. Cannot wait for late spring, early summer, and they will be absolutely gorgeous. Pretty basic, y'all. Dig your hole, throw in a little bit of compost, mix it with your native soil, use your great starter fertilizer like that Biotone, put your plant in. It was a little bit above the grade of the soil. Top dress with your compost, and then bring your mulch back. Now, you will notice that I did go ahead and install the peony cages on them. Depending on where you are and how your peonies do, a lot of times there's a complaint about peonies as in when they're in full bloom, that they tend to be too floppy. It's because they have these massive blooms, of course, and then you get wind or rain and they flop over. That's why we have these little peony like grow cages. I went ahead and put them in simply for me, like, to tell people, hello, there's a plant here. Please don't step on me. Please don't dig anything up. And so that's more why I have them here. Then obviously I don't need plant support right now. And then because, as my husband says, I have the memory of a gnat sometimes, I went ahead and labeled each one with that gorgeous little copper plant tag. I got both of these the plant tags and the plant supports from Kinsman Garden Company. One of my favorite all-time like garden supplies, supports, all sorts of things garden. Kinsman has it. I know Gardener's Supply also has the grow cages. So just depends on where you like to shop. Those are very common. And so like I said, wanted to get that support in just so that, because this is new plants, they're already starting to show their little eyes are popping up. And I just want people to know that there are plants there. Me to remember there are plants there. Don't go walking through here. Don't go doing something silly in there. There are gorgeous plants that are giving us beautiful, beautiful flowers. So, of course, I'll keep you updated as the season progresses, but it feels good to be back out in the garden. It's a beautiful day. Like, it's, you know, what was it this weekend? It was freezing cold. I mean, it was cold. And then this week it's going to be 70. I mean, that's just North Carolina for you. It can literally be 20 one day, and then 2 days later it's 70, 75. So this is what makes living in North Carolina fun, but I am loving this blue sky. Feels good to be in the garden. As always, hope you found this fun, interesting. Look for peonies at your local garden center in the springtime. They will be there. And as always, we appreciate you. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.